Heyo, welcome in to CHGO Bets Daily, presented by Draftkings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me is my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. And you can follow the Bets account on Twitter at CHGO_Bets. We have two shows today. We've got a show right now. You're watching it, hopefully, at 3 p.m. And then we got a show at 5:30, Big Ten After Dark, with, I think, Greg Braggs. I know he's in Indiana. He's always in Indiana, but he's now more
at the
specifically,
NFL Combine.
Yes, in Indianapolis. So I think he's joining us, though. So we got a lot to talk about. Your Illini had some a fall, I will say, against Ohio State recently that we'll get to dive into. And, hey, it's not like Purdue was good against the weekend either. So a lot to talk about.
I feel like the vibes on that show is not going to be great.
No, we're talking about how many teams will make it into the tournament. And I remember last time we had this discussion, we were like, 12, 13.
The way the non-conference schedule went. Yeah.
Northwestern seemed like a cherry on the top. Now it seems like a stalwart when you look at the Big Ten and all the teams that have fallen off. But it should be a fun show later on tonight. But today we got some MLB talk, and with IO in the corner, we also got Bulls talk. They got the Raptors. They're heading to Toronto. The line I last saw was +5, so we'll discuss that. And you also got a no-sweat same-game parlay out there if you want to place that on the Bulls game tonight. But if you go to All Sports on your DraftKings Sportsbook app on the bottom page, you can see the MLB section, and then over there you got team futures on the bar that you could score around, social, player futures, regular season leaders. We're going to be in the player future market today under home run total. We're going to start off with Eloy Jiménez. He's the only Chicagoan. He's not Chicagoan.
Chicago athlete.
Right, Chicago athlete on the page. Eloy to hit 29.5 home runs this year. Over, under, I think both lines are posted at -115. So no juice in any certain direction. Oh, no, sorry. Over is -115, under -110. Still pretty even. So, Cody, when you look at Eloy as an outsider, as a guy who, not to bring it up, used to have him in the Cubs organization.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Sorry. Over under 29.5 home runs for Eloy this year.
I'd love to take the over on this, Sean, but I'm curious to how you feel about his health going into this year. I know he lost 30 pounds, looking good. I remember when Kyle Schwarber lost 30 pounds, and it kind of propelled his career, not only as a hitter, but also as a defensive player as well. And I know a lot of Sox fans want to just see him DH. At least that's what I always read on social media.
Yes.
But I know he's probably going to play more right field this year than he is left field because Benettindi's a left fielder. So,
and he's worse in right field than he is in left field. He's already bad in left field.
Like statistically?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he doesn't have a good arm. He's has a 25th percentile arm. Like, it makes no sense. Like, honestly, like they looked at him and they're like, he's awful in left field. So let's make him play a difficult position, a more difficult position that he hasn't played since he was in the Cubs organization in Single A. It makes no sense to me, and apparently, hey, I gotta live with it. He's starting in the game right now against the Diamondbacks.
Well, either way, I think that he could easily go over on this if he stays healthy. If he can stay on the field, if they do DH him some, I think that he could easily go over. I think whenever he was healthy last year, he performed. He was probably their best hitter on the team. So, yeah, I like the over on this one, but yeah, there is some risk here. Obviously, it's gambling, so there's risk, but of this particular market itself, just the home run total bets in general itself, health is a big factor in all these. So, for example, you see Fernando Tatis Jr. at 34.5, and it's like, I know he's going to miss like the first couple weeks of the year, which means nothing, but you never know. He didn't play at all last year. That's a big risk. So, I like the over at 29.5 just because I think he's due for a big year and he's due for a healthy year. So that's my play.
No, it's really, it's health. You look at 2020 when he played 55 of 60 games, 14 home runs, that easily would have been 30 home runs if he played even 100 games. You look in his first full season, 122 games in 2019, 31 home runs, right? And then obviously 2021 played 50 games last year, only 84 games. And even then, in the 84 games, most of those were after the All-Star break. He was like the second best hitter in Major League Baseball behind Aaron Judge. Like, so I am fully with you. I would easily take the over on Eloy to hit 30 home runs because it's basically health. I like that you bring up the Schwarber comp and him losing weight. I really didn't think of it as a health thing. Maybe it is the more I think about it. But
a lot of Eloy's injuries, I mean, outside of what he did in left field, I think, what was it, spring training last year? Outside of that, I mean,
2021.
running down first baseline, that was kind of like a self-induced injury. Like a lot of like it's a lot of like there's some bad luck in there, and then also like so I feel like him losing weight probably means that he's a little bit more healthy and he be a little bit more durable now. So I think that him losing that weight is a big factor in his success. I know in spring training we always like to make fun of he's in the best shape of his life, but he legitimately might be in the best shape of his life. And I think for Sox fans, I would, if I was a Sox fan, I would be optimistic about him being able to stay on the field this year.
Well, I worry that he could stay on the field for probably 162 games if he just played DH. But
that's fair too.
He is in right field.
Listen, if he was the DH, if he was a full-time DH, I would slam the over on 29.5. And honestly, the number might even be higher if they were just open about him being the full-time DH. But you're the Sox guy here. You know that he's getting some outfield playing time. So you can sit here and complain about that all we want in terms of his success as a Major League Baseball player. But at the end of the day, the dude can hit. And if he stays healthy, I think he easily goes over this.
Well, the market that I actually really like, surprisingly, 30-1 for him to be the Major League home run leader. I think even Vinny said, it's an open competition. Even Jerome says he can't do that if he plays in the outfield, hitting over 30 home runs. I don't think it's going to be him winning the right field job. I think it's going to be Oscar Cole. I think it's going to be Gavin Sheets, meaning Eloy will end up being the DH. Will he play, in the outfield and right field probably like 3 times in a month, 4 times in a month, 5 times in a month? Maybe. That's not going to be substantial. I think a giant stomps on our roof.
The crap out of me.
What was that?
We just had someone like fall through the roof.
Seriously. But Eloy to be the home run leader, this is under regular season leader, 30-1. I think that's actually a pretty good number. J-Rod is with him. Giancarlo Stanton's 25-1. Judge obviously leads this at 5.5-1. Trout's hit 40 home runs in a season before. So, and Schwarber's hit 46 last year. He's at 11-1. So it's basically, can Eloy hit 40 home runs? If he's a full-time DH and he's healthy, he might be able to. I mean, there's always a joke on White Sox Twitter that was started by Chirizi that he could hit 74, his number. I don't know. We've seen a ton of power from him. So I would definitely take the over on 29.5, but I don't even think it's ridiculous to sprinkle something on that 30-1 for him to be the home run leader just because, Aaron Judge hasn't hit, 60 in every single year. He's hit 50 twice, but he's had some down years. Kyle Schwarber, the number was at 37.5, and you said you take the over on that, especially with him being at 46 last year. So I think Eloy, 30-1 home run leader is actually a pretty decent sprinkle. Put 5 on that, and whatever, 5 times 30 is a pretty good return.
Where is that market at?
Regular season leaders and then home run leader.
There you go.
So 5 will win you 155. I think I like that better just because you look at a player future, like what's the point? I'm going to, I put $10 down and I'm going to win, $9 in 6 months. Mm-hmm. I'm not patient like that. I can wait 9 months or 6 months to be rewarded with 155. So I might not play the straight home run total, but hey, to each their own. We'll see what happens here. Any other player prop that you like home run total wise? Any certain player that sticks out to you? Judge 45.5. Maybe I think that's just play if you think he's going to hit 45. Maybe just play him 5.5-1 to be the home run leader.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these because first off, there isn't a lot of value. Most of them are all -110, -115, -120.
Byron Buxton under 31.5 is -120.
Yeah,
which makes no sense.
How do you know how many he hit last year?
No, but it's just. I mean, he's more of an injury concern than Eloy is.
That's what I was saying. I would assume that's why it's at minus 120 because
28 last year.
28
last year. That was a career high.
And he played in how many games?
92.
92.
His career high is 140 back in 2017, but only 16 home runs back then.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like the under on that one, just because you just don't know what the health and like you mentioned, I do like Schwarber over 37.5. Kind of like Kyle Tucker over 32.5. I think he's got a big year ahead of him. I did mention Fernando Tatis Jr. He's coming off. He wasn't hurt last year, right? He was suspended because of steroids. He was hurt. He was hurt because of the bike accident. Then he was supposed to come back, and then he got suspended because of steroids. Now he's going to miss like the first couple weeks, but we'll be back. He's going to be playing the outfield now for the Padres. He's going to be adjusting to that. How will that play go into his play with, as a hitter? And again, I understand he's young. I understand he was literally the face of baseball for like a couple years when he first came over with the Padres. But he didn't see live MLB pitching for a whole year. And they have his total at 34.5. Like, the under is 34.5 or is minus 120. Like, I kind of like that if I were to bet it.
Can we parlay Buxton and Fernando Tatis unders? Because if we can, I think that'd be a nice little parlay for us. Because I like both of those, and you could just tell too the way they're priced at minus 120.
They don't let you on DraftKings, unfortunately. But if
these big brain plays, they don't.
Yeah, like I feel like those are safe unders if you did want to bet the under. As far as other overs, Juan Soto over 31.5. I think he's gonna have a big year. I think any over related to Shohei Ohtani in a walk year where he's going to get paid so much money, I feel like is interesting at least.
I like Sal Perez over 29.5. He had nearly 40.
And then Vlad Jr. 36.5. I'll take the over on that. That guy's a freaking wagon, dude. That guy can mash taters. I watched the one he hit yesterday. Dude, he's unreal. So
I think that's the hardest hit StatCast spring training ball that was actually a hit.
Really?
The other 5 were outs.
That's wild. So yeah, I mean, again, unfortunately, DraftKings doesn't give you the option to parlay. But if you wanted to, if you're a big futures guy, I like the under on Buxton and Tatis Jr. home run totals.
I like those as well. And I'd take the over again on Jimenez. But
and obviously.
If you do want to check out any of those markets, make sure you go and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, go to All Sports MLB, go over to the Player Future tab, and you can see the home run totals and regular season leaders. That's where you can find for the home run leader, Eloy 30-1. We also got no sweat same game parlays. The Bulls are taking on the Raptors tonight. There's some college baseball that's going on as well that I was interested in. I don't have any bets for today. Nothing on the market, and the bank needs a little bit of a time off, Cody. We've been what's it called? Beating it with a hammer, I guess is the polite way to say it, for the past couple of days. And I also laughed when I saw my 2 Serie A bets that I would have made. That's soccer, Cody. They both lost. So I'm glad I took the day off because I don't know if I know shit. So hey, let's go. We're in the middle of ad read. College baseball is fun to bet on. Anyways, download the app now and set up the code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. It is still fun, and that's why I do like the no sweat same game parlays because typically I lose, but then I get my free bonus bet back. And then, hey, we could try to.
Admittedly, I've been using my bonus bet back to put on baseball futures.
Oh, nice.
Why I don't just put the $10 on a future instead of these parlays, I don't know. But
because the 10 could become 50.
That's true.
That's usually what gets us.
I know that doesn't make any sense, but that's just what I've been doing.
It makes sense. It's what I do too. Let's talk about this Bulls game tonight. The line when you go to the same game parlay tab goes from +5 for the Bulls to +4.5. I do like the Bulls to cover tonight. I think somebody in our Discord
They've won
took
their
the
last
money line.
2. Yeah.
I don't know if I trust them that much, but I think it will be competitive.
Yeah, I mean the Pat Beverly effect. I don't know if it's real or not. We've been going around the circle with the Bulls all season when it comes to this kind of thing. They win a couple in a row, and you're like, oh, are they back? Is this the team that they really are? And then they'll lose to, like, a bad team. But the Raptors are right around the same, like, level as them. They're not much better, and they're not much worse than the Bulls. 5 points, I'd lean the Bulls tonight just based off how they're playing to come out of the All-Star break. Their defense has been really good too. They haven't allowed anyone to score 90 points the last 2 games. So I kind of like the Bulls tonight. Now if they can guard Fred VanVleet decently, they have a good shot. The last 2 times they played the Raptors, I just remember Fred VanVleet has been going off on them, specifically from the 3-point line because the Bulls can't guard the 3. So if you don't want to bet the game spread or money line, perhaps a Fred VanVleet 3-point prop is one to touch.
His point prop over 19.5, under 19.5, over -120, under 110, -110 for threes tonight for Fred VanVleet.
2.5.
Over 2.5 at -140.
-140. So that goes when it's at -140 like that. Yeah, maybe parlay that with
But does Pat Bev shut him down? Like, maybe. I mean, is that the thing? I mean, they haven't had Pat Bev, and now they don't have Goran, and maybe the bench defense is a little bit better because you got Io and Pat Will coming off the bench. I don't know. It's that's why I think I like the spread tonight, just because I think the Bulls will be feisty at least. Yeah. I think I would probably. I mean, again, I don't know if I'm going to be diving into the parlays here. But I might take the under on threes for Fred VanVleet just because I think that it's going to be an emphasis for them, and maybe make them beat you inside rather than what they've been doing consistently, beating you from the outside. I would rather see what Siakam can do against Vucevic, even though I know Vucevic isn't a great defender. I
see Nick's comment. I've seen him in the discourse as the perfect opportunity to do money line with a free bet. Yeah, I mean it's at +160. I like it.
I get it +185. Or is that just on the parlay builder?
That must be on parlay, but just a single. It's at +160.
+160.
So yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's also a DeMar DeRozan revenge game. You wanna use some DeRozan props. I'm not against the. Everyone knows how I love a good revenge bet. So yeah.
Well, and I think that's the team that he's scored the most against. But last time I tried to do a DeRozan same game parlay against the Raptors, I think he had like a bad night. And every time
I think they purposely like double teamed him every time he touched the ball, and the Bulls just never adjusted to get him the ball or to get him open looks or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I do lean Bulls +5 tonight. I like that.
So there you go. I think maybe take Patrick Williams points as well.
Now, unrelated to the Bulls, DraftKings does have a cool promo tonight. Luka and Dame to score 30+, boosted to +125.
You taking it?
I mean, Dame's coming off the 71-point game, and Luka's, I feel like Luka's putting up at least 30 every night, it feels like.
And they're going up against the Pacers, who can't play defense.
Yeah, the only thing I guess that might scare me about that is, if they blow him out, then like he might be sitting most of the fourth quarter.
And if Kyrie scores like 29.
Yeah. So
who do the Pacers have, or the Blazers have tonight? The Blazers going up against
the Warriors.
Okay.
And those are fast-paced teams.
At Golden State. Golden State's pretty good at home, though. We'll see. Steph's still out, right? Steph's not playing.
I believe so.
Yeah. So we'll see. You got bets tonight. Why don't we jump into that? I know Gary was asking in the Discord if I was taking IU. I don't have any bets tonight. Maybe I will have one for the concert I'm going to later. But what do you have tonight?
Okay, so I'm taking Indiana -5.5. Congratulations, Gary. I'm taking Indiana -5.5 because Iowa's coming to IU tonight, and Iowa is awful on the road. They are light and day just depending on if they're at home or if they're on the road. And Iowa is coming off the luckiest game that they will have the next 10 years. Far and away. They were down 10 points with a minute to go. They will not get any luckier than they did against Michigan State for the next 10 years. If I could place that bet and wait for 10 years, fine. But I just feel like this is a classic letdown spot for Iowa right here. They're not good on the road. Indiana's great at home. And Iowa had that emotional comeback to somehow go to overtime and win that game against Michigan State. And I don't see them playing up with Indiana tonight. I kind of like the over too, but I'm just gonna ride with Indiana to win by 6. The spread on DraftKings is now up to 6. By the way, I got it at 5.5. So looks like more money is coming in on IU. Also, Indiana's playing well. I mean, you want me to flip it? They're coming off the win against Purdue. Will this be a big letdown spot for them? At home, I don't think so. Also, Iowa can't defend. So I think that Indiana rolls tonight. Arkansas, plus 6.5. What'd you say before the show, Nick? Arkansas is 6-1 since Nick Smith has been back?
6-1 when he plays.
And I believe he's playing tonight. He played against Alabama on Saturday. They were 8-point dogs against Alabama at Alabama. They covered, only lost by 3 points, I believe. They're at Tennessee tonight. Tennessee is a very good defensive team, but they just do not score enough points for me to think that this is like that it's going to be a big deficit. I think Arkansas can hang with Tennessee, so I'm gonna ride with the Razorbacks
When he plays 20 minutes.
when he plays 20 minutes. Okay,
Yeah, they're 6-1 when he plays 20 minutes.
all right. So then we get a little late night action, a little Mountain West. San Diego State at Boise State tonight, under 134. The under has hit 5 straight times these two teams have played. San Diego State loves to play slow. Yeah, so I'm gonna ride the under there. I kind of want to take San Diego State money line just because, it's very few times you can get them as an underdog because they're so good, and also they blew out Boise State earlier this year. But I think I'm gonna avoid it just because Boise State is very good as well, and this is a good revenge spot for them. So I think that this could be like a 58-56 type game, like a good low scoring one. So we'll see. But also tonight, I'm taking the over on Fresno State and New Mexico, over 141.5. The over is 7-1 in New Mexico's last 8 home games versus a team with a losing record, which that is what Fresno State is. They're 10-18. But I'm also going to take Fresno. I didn't send this to Sarah, but I'm actually going to take Fresno State plus 7.5 too, just because the Lobos have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Jeez. So, and New Mexico's they're a decent team. I think they're going to get into the tournament. They've won 20 games this year, but they just haven't been playing well of late. No, Fresno State's not good. Like I said, they're 10-18, but New Mexico's lost some. They've had some bad losses of recent too. So I don't know how to feel, but I do think that there will be a lot of points, and I think that Fresno State hangs around. So give me Fresno State plus 7.5, and give me the over 141.5. Yeah, and I always do my classic 3-leg parlay with the college basketball boost that DraftKings gives us.
Money lines.
Yeah, Indiana, Michigan State, and Virginia. Michigan State is at Nebraska tonight. Hard to go to Nebraska and win, but as I said about Iowa, Michigan State, they have to bounce back tonight. You can't lose like you did at Iowa and then go to Nebraska and lose to that team. Now Nebraska is they're a feisty bunch. They've beat some decent teams this year, but I'm going to take Izzo tonight in this parlay because it's bounce back night for them. Like I said, I'm putting Indiana in it because I think they beat Iowa easily tonight. And then my third leg is Virginia money line against Clemson at